Hey, how's it going? On Wednesday, January 27th, Olympus Malaysia launched the rangefinder style body Olympus Pen F. The camera now has a viewfinder and a brand new 20 megapixel micro four thirds CMOS sensor. I got the camera and I've been using it for a whole month, and this is my review. First time handling camera, it felt so good in the hands that I didn't have any complaints whatsoever, and that carried on until the end of the month when I had to return the camera because I really liked the feel. It felt clean, it felt minimalist, there wasn't any unnecessary bumps or lumps or hinges that you have to hold on to. It just felt really nice. And other than that, the appearance itself, one, because it was new, second, because there weren't any external visible screws, which just showed how the craftsmanship of the Olympus Pen F was really taken into consideration, and I really love that about it. The photos are definitely really nice, especially with the new 20 megapixel sensor. It has good color, it has great skin tones. Olympus makes awesome sensors. They've been doing it since the EM5, the EM1, the M10, EM5 Mark II, M10 Mark II, and it has carried on to the Pen F right now. So if you want to see the photos in full resolution, you can go to fear.ooze.com. I uploaded all the photos in the fullest resolution for your viewing pleasure or for your viewing purposes and stuff like that. Focusing is one of the most talked about things about this camera, the Olympus Pen F, and it's because people have said that there's no improvement of the autofocus system, especially the continuous autofocus. Now that was also mentioned between the Olympus people and myself when I got the camera. They were like, the autofocus is good, but the continuous autofocus was not improved, so you might not want to test that out. You might not want to shoot concerts, or you might not want to shoot sports with it. And I guess that because it's a rangefinder style body, that they were looking to appeal more towards street photographers and maybe travel photographers, and the continuous autofocus was not good. If the subject is in the same place, it's good, it's great, it focuses really well, it's snappy. If the subject is in the same focal plane, as in it just moves horizontally, then it's okay. But as soon as the subject moves from front to back, it can't focus at all. And that's the main problem of continuous autofocus with this camera. It won't continuously focus automatically on the subject that's moving. Also, high ISO, it's not great. At ISO 1600, 3200, it's still good. The details are nice. You can see that the noise isn't there. But once it goes to 6400, although it doesn't have a lot of noise, and that's good, the details just start to smudge. The outlines are becoming softer and the image loses a bit of its quality. And I don't mind personally because I don't do a lot of high ISO stuff, but for people that need high ISO capability, this doesn't really have that. Another thing about the camera is that the processor is ultimately extremely slow. It cannot even process one photo, just one, JPEG plus RAW, in less than 10 seconds. It has to take almost like a lifetime. Okay, exaggeration. It has to take like quite a long time to just have one photo read to the card so that I can push playback and see the photo, and that's really bad. I don't want to chimp. I don't try to chimp. I try to use the EVF with the preview, but when I shoot with flash, I underexpose by almost 2 stops a lot of the times. So I really need to see if my flash is good enough. I mean, if my flash is strong enough, or if it's too strong, or if it's just right. So having the camera just not read to the card quickly is just an abomination. Time lapse is horrible. It has an intervalometer inside the camera, and you can do interval shooting at 1 second, 2 seconds, and stuff like that for time lapse. But the thing is, the camera doesn't really know what interval means. Let's say I wanted to shoot a 10-second time lapse. That means I need 300 shots for a 30 frames per second video. 300 shots with a 1 second interval means I have 300 seconds of shooting, which translates into 5 minutes of shooting. Once I punched in all those settings and clicked the shutter, the camera just started shooting. But after 5 minutes, I found that the camera was still shooting photos and it had still a long time to go, and it was very weird because I have never had this problem with my GoPro. I never had this problem with my Nikon D7100. So I tried it again, and 5 minutes of shooting easily became like 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and it was really mind-boggling. And for the most part, it made the time lapse really bad because I would skip too many frames. It will look, I mean, the progression or the pace of the video became too fast, and it wasn't smooth, it wasn't nice, and I was really disappointed with the time-lapse feature. Very worthy of note is the absence of 4K. Now it's 2016, people still might not use 4K TVs or 4K screens a lot, but cameras that are released in 2016, most of them have 4K capability. You already have that in the Leica Deluxe, which was released in 2014. And that's amazing. That small camera that can fit in your pocket, that has a micro four thirds sensor at 12 megapixels has 4K, and this doesn't. And video capability is 1080p at 60 FPS. That's okay. It's almost as good as the EM5 Mark II, but it's not the same. The EM5 Mark II has a nicer aesthetic to the video, more so than the Pen F, and maybe this is because of the new sensor or some sort of weird codec stuff, but it really isn't that great. Also, pertaining to video, the camera does not have a microphone jack. It does not have a headphone jack, so you are left with either in-camera microphones or external audio, and I mean, that could be tedious for most people, I imagine. Last but not least, my biggest complaint is that this camera is super expensive. At 1,199 US dollars, that translates to almost about, I don't know, almost 5,000 ringgit in Malaysia. Conclusion, well, I don't know if I would like to recommend the Pen F. I guess I would recommend it to people who are strictly already in the Olympus system and you're looking for an upgrade from the EM10 or EM5 maybe. The Pen F is a good buy because it will give you all the new features of the EM5 Mark II and possibly some from the EM1 Mark II, except continuous autofocus. Thank you for watching. Take care.